Jai Shri Ram, welcome to Astrology with Abhilasha. Today I am talking about your life path and destiny, the reason you took birth on this planet, what are your give and take on this planet Earth. So let's understand one concept. Whenever you have taken birth on this planet, you have signed a kind of deal with the universe. What is this deal all about? Now here I am introducing a newer concept about the eclipses and the reason of your birth on this planet. While you were taking birth, you promised something to the universe as a barter for your birth on this planet. So these promises depend upon the solar eclipse concerned before your birth and the lunar eclipse concerned before the birth, at the time when your mother was carrying you in her womb. Any eclipse during that time, that period of 9 months, shows what you have promised to the universe as a barter so you can take birth on this planet and dissipate your karmas. Whatever solar eclipse happens before your birth is the energy the universe has invested in you and that you have promised to share during your travel on Earth. The solar eclipse energy is what you are here to clarify for. Where your solar eclipse is concerned, you must share as you have promised in your pact with the universe to share whatever you have earned in your previous life. Your only choice lies in whether to share your gift in a positive way or a negative way. You can go about your life willingly sharing this gift with your fellow human beings, or you can teach the lesson by having such negative traits that those around you learn what not to do from your behavior and personality. So the choice lies in your hand. You promised that you would share the energy of the solar eclipse in order to earn the right to come onto this planet Earth and learn the lesson represented by your lunar eclipse. The universe operates in a perfect balance, as we all know. We all are here to attain the balance we are missing. So if you give something, universe makes sure that you get something in return. So when you accepted the gift represented by your solar eclipse, and as you promised to the universe to share it with others, what you earned in return is the energies of the lunar eclipse. Because that which is depicted by a lunar eclipse is the lesson you are here to learn. The lunar eclipse is what you need for your soul growth, what you have come to learn, where you need completion. And as you go on living on this planet, you mastered these lessons, and along with you, your family and friends as a co-human also learn these lessons. Now these eclipses impact a lot on individual destiny. The sign of your solar eclipse determine what your responsibility is towards the planet Earth and the family you are born in, the friends you have throughout life. It is a gift that the universe gave you so you could teach others. The sign, the energy of the sign in which this solar eclipse happens while you were in the womb of your mother. So you have to use it wisely. You have to share the energy, share the learning you have from your previous lives to unburden yourself from the gift of the universe, the life universe gifted you, so that you can ward off your karma while living on the planet Earth. Lunar eclipse, the sign of the lunar eclipse, indicate those qualities which you need to integrate in your personality, which you need to learn. These are the lessons. The sign in which lunar eclipse happens before your birth, during the 9 months, are the lesson you chose for yourself, are the lesson your soul choose, that okay, these are the lessons which I need to learn to complete my journey as a soul, and these are the requirements which I should fulfill in order to return back to the cosmic energy, to the supreme, right? So that is the dictum which I'll be talking about today on, that what are the consequences of different signs in which you have your personal eclipse happening during you were yet to be born and you were being carried by your mother. So if your solar eclipse before your birth happens to be in the sign of Aries, you are here to teach your fellow beings the lesson of assertiveness. Now, what is Aries? Aries is all about assertiveness, independence, courage of conviction, uh, overcoming fear of new beginnings, because Aries is all about new beginnings. Through this process, you will draw people to you who have a tendency to be clingy and overly dependent. We often meet people as a friend, or even we have some of the relatives who are highly dependent on us, even for the motivation to live in life. They would seek our advice before starting anything new, before investing their energies in anything. So, what is our karma towards them is to make them independent, to make them so confident that they do not need somebody else to fall on to. You must assist these persons in becoming more self-reliant in a way that they do not completely depend on you, rather understand their own power. While teaching them self-reliance through example, you must remain independent and hold firm to the idea that all positive relations are connected, yet they have their individual capacity. We are totally devoted as a family person, but still we have our personal space. So if you have this eclipse in the sign of Aries, you are here to support other people realize their true potential and make them confident, independent by supporting them. That is your karma. Whether this happens in your family setup or as a friend, whatever capacity you can do that in. But this is your path of life. You should teach them the value of being independent, the value of being self sufficient, self supported. We often meet people who have this tendency of, uh, you know, uh, requiring validation from other people, which is sometimes very detrimental for personal growth. We are continuously seeking validation through social media, through personal interaction, through our friends, family, spouse, etc. everywhere. You should help these kind of a tendency to develop into self confidence. That is your sole purpose here. And mind it, it's a very big task to actually change the other person who's very timid and quiet into an independent personality. It would require a lot of time from you. And we unknowingly sometimes ignore our uh, family members and their requirements from us, whatever they need from us. Sometimes a child need uh, unconditional support, right? That same can happen with our parents, with our friends. They might need a support just to boost their confidence, and there, in such a subtle way, we can just untie the reason we are here on this planet Earth. So, courage is what you have to teach to your fellow beings. Leadership in a positive way. You have to be a true leader, a true nurturer with positive examples. Now, if the lunar eclipse happens in this sign, so in this birth, you are here to learn to stand on your own two feet and have the courage of your conviction. Now, all what I have discussed for the solar eclipse in Aries are the things you are here to give and teach. Now, the same things you are here to learn if lunar eclipse happens in Aries. It is suggested that in previous lifetimes, you have been overly dependent on the opinions of people around you. Somehow, you were always thinking that the other people are highly intelligent and you should look up to them. You had the fear of rejection, fear of having a dysfunctional life or something. So, to compensate for these fear, you have allowed others to dominate your life in your previous births. So, in this birth, you are here to learn self-reliance, independence, high confidence, and you're here to process that your beliefs are also correct and you can work on your own intuitive and your own personality. You're here to learn and become independent. So that is what this life needs from you as a return gift to the universe. So I hope Aries is clear. Now, coming to the sign of Taurus. What does Taurus sign signifies if you have solar eclipse in this sign? you're here to be more solid regarding your moral, financial, and spiritual value. You have a tendency to draw to you such people who need to have their value system realigned. Sometimes we meet people in our life who do not have a very robust value system. They lack on their moral fronts. They lack on their financial integrity. They are still searching for their spiritual path. So, if your solar eclipse has happened in the sign of Taurus, you are here to teach people to overcome financial difficulties. You understand intuitively that you can climb high only if you have a firm foundation to support you. This is why you can teach those around you how to make sure that every brick has been laid securely and now they can take the next step and rise high in life. If you choose not to share your knowledge and refuse to teach the basic economic structure, basic finance related things, you may experience the negative repercussion within your own family, within your own finances. You may get a wife, husband, son, daughter, father, or mother who has severe financial difficulties. That is the trait of a solar eclipse happening in Taurus. And if you refuse to help others in the matter of financial education, I will not say that you have to go out and spend your money and help them financially, but at least you can uh, sensitize them towards the importance of financial uh, system which they should follow to have a robust support throughout their life. Things like investment. How should they do it? How should they go about it? Sometimes we um, see people approaching us, our friends or somebody, regarding an advice, and we are so mugged up and busy in our own lives that we easily ignore such advances and we don't even bother, right? But that is where we are deviating from our solar path, the path of our soul. Sun always shows where our soul wants to go or where it is coming from. The placement of sun, the sign sun falls in, and here the solar eclipse is the case, right? So we have to work accordingly. You are here, and this is your universal responsibility to teach this lesson through your own example, right? You are sharing yourself beyond the call of duty, which will lead to your own lessons being eased in other areas. So, it is very important for you to sense the value of financial stability for the people around you. Very often, you are tend to draw people who are very impatient with finances, and through your own example of slowly and securely accomplishing your financial goals, you can help to teach them patience. If you choose not to help others professionally in these areas, you will still be teaching those around you the value of having a strong foundation. You understand in your home life as well as in your business that it is your sole duty to lay the foundation of a high moral ground for others. You have to take care of your lineage as well. Not if you're teaching the lesson of finances in a negative way, you will create negative impact in the financial life of those close to you. If you choose to teach the value of finances on a positive level, you can be of great assistance to your family and associates. Now you will have this internal inbuilt quality of being extremely intuitive regarding investment and profits. So let others also benefit from this trait of yours. You have to maintain your moral character in order to be an example for others. You should avoid causing disappointments on the value system. You are also here to teach the importance of having strong spiritual values. If you choose to teach spiritual responsibility, you will show yourself as a person who is here to bring collective consciousness in your peer group. So that is also very important. We often come across one person in our life, who actually gets us initiated, maybe towards a guru, towards a spiritual path, towards meditation. So that is the karma which lies if solar eclipse has happened in the sign of Taurus before your birth. As I already told you in the start of the video, whichever sign solar eclipse happens, that is the thing you have learned in your previous lives and you are here to teach. Okay? Now let's go to lunar eclipse happening in Taurus. Your lesson is to develop a proper prosperity consciousness in this lifetime. So now lunar eclipse, as I already told you in the start of the video, happens in the sign before your birth, shows the traits and the lesson you are here to learn in this life, in this birth of yours. You are coming from a previous life that was extremely spiritual but materially poverty stricken. Some of you have seen the repercussion of being in poverty in your previous life. So here you are born to regain that strength, that area of life, to live and enjoy that area of life where you are financially very stable. You were very spiritually aligned and enlightened in your previous life, but finances have their way in this life. Part of your lesson is to learn that money is not a negative thing. Money is simply another aspect of life that needs to be mastered, just like spirituality, just like kindness, etc. You have mastered how to not have, financial or materialistic things divert you from your spiritual path in your previous lives. You have kept a proper spiritual consciousness in your previous life. But in this life, your turn to learn how to have the best in terms of finances, materialistic gains, and the Venusian things you have to enjoy in this life. During this process, you are acquiring the knowledge that it is not having money that matters. It is what you do with that money and the way in which you obtain it matters. Obtaining money while keeping your morals intact is very, very important in this Kali Yuga. During your past lives, you studied a great deal on a spiritual level, and exposure to those who misused resources taught you to distrust anyone who had money. As a result, in this existence, you have a tendency to self destruct where finances are concerned. So, you have to curb this tendency. In this life, your sole purpose is to learn how to handle the monetary matters for your family, for yourself. Okay? As part of this lesson, you need to learn not to measure your self worth or the worth of those around you by their wealth or material possessions. You are learning how to have without judging those around you. You still want to keep your spiritual values, yet you recognize that everyone is walking a different path, uh, and that is and that is how your own path leads to material prosperity. Now, in this birth, it is mandatory for you to learn and accept money and allow it to validate your efforts in your day to day life. In this birth, you are learning that it is natural for the universe to reward you with money when you give services to others. So it becomes very necessary if you had lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus while you were in your mother's womb that you do not give free services to others. You might charge a minimal amount, but you always do charge for any kind of service you provide, right? So that is where the key lies. Now let's go to uh, Gemini. If your solar eclipse has happened in the sign of Gemini, you are teaching your fellow beings the value of communication. You have the ability to understand the importance of the spoken and the written word. And it is one of your responsibilities in this life to keep the communication happening to the for the information to circulate. You have the natural ability to say the right thing at the right time. You had the gift of the gab. You can talk to anyone about anything. That is your gift. That is what you're carrying from your previous lives. You are carrying the energy of Gemini, the energy of polarization. Gemini is the sign which gives you duality. You understand the duality of life in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the first interaction with human being. So that is the key source of your karmic path, your life path. Information that you share with others has the ability to change the direction of their life. You should be very wise in choosing what kind of information you share with your family, friends, etc. What and what kind of impact these information will bring onto their lives. This should be very well calculated from your side. You know that controlled communication can give tremendous good results. As a natural teacher, you have the ability to stimulate mental growth in others. You awaken in those around you a desire to develop their mental abilities. Because Gemini is the sign in the zodiac, the first sign in the zodiac where we actually start using our mental um, capabilities. Our mental consciousness arises in this sign. On some levels, you are teaching freedom of movement, freedom of communication. You find seclusion and confinement difficult. You are a born storyteller, right? So you should inspire your fellow beings, your co-humans, with different stories, with motivation, etc. Motivational speaking. All right. I know you might think that, oh, my solar eclipse happened in Gemini, but I do not have these traits. How can I impart it to other people? Then, my dear friend, that is your life path to inculcate to, you know, uh, you already have these talents. It's just a matter that you have to, um, refresh them. Just like we refresh and reboot our gadgets, that's the way you have to refresh and reboot your talent and use it to benefit other people. Okay, you are like the child whose first environment is limited to the home and then broadens to the school and to the neighborhood. Eventually the child grows up and goes away to college and then moves into the true world, business, relationships, etc. This lesson may be taught either positively by you, the choice is yours, but the lesson has to be taught by you. That is the work universe has assigned to you. Your you understand in an intuitive way that life is too short for you to become a master in any of the many areas you want to experience. You have chosen in this incarnation not to master any one but to experience the taste of every bit. You are teaching those around you the value of having a vast number of experiences, and at the same time, you are also introducing others to these experiences of the power of communication. It is very oftenly said that no relation dies out of deficiency of love, but every relation dies out of deficiency of good communication. So, that is how important communication is in our life. Okay, so if lunar eclipse happens in the sign of Gemini, your lesson is how to communicate. Now, you are on the learning scale. You are learning about the correct use of language, appropriate social behavior, social interaction. You are learning not to take things for granted or assume that others perceive things the way you do. So you don't have to, um, you know, be judgmental or push your point of view onto others. This is a very common trait seen nowadays, that we try to push our conviction, our point of view on our family, friends, spouse, children, everywhere. So we should refrain doing them. If our lunar eclipse has happened in the sign of Gemini before we were born, you have to learn how not to be misunderstood while you are communicating. So this can be seen as a common trait in your life, that you are often misunderstood because of your communication. And that is what you have to learn in this life. That is what you are lacking. That is the promise you made to the universe, that please give me birth on the planet Earth, and I'll like to learn these things to complete my soul's journey. See, soul is here, our Atman is here to learn all 12 aspects of our horoscope, one in each birth, right? How good we are at it depends how evolved we are as a soul. So you have to avoid being frustrated on the pretext that you are always being misunderstood. Understand that is the path of your life. That is where the knot is there, which you have to untie. And I have checked these things on several charts. This is how you make changes in lifestyle and untie your karma. Because many people are getting awakened now, maybe due to the scenario, current context in which we are living. Many a times, almost 80% of the time in my consultation, the primary question I have been asked is that how can I complete my karmic journey? How can I dissipate my karmas in this life? What is my soul purpose? And this method, trust me, works best in decoding that. Now, if your eclipse happens, solar eclipse happens in the sign of Cancer, you're here to teach people to understand, deal with the expression and emotions, and how to actually feel, how to tell your feelings in a very natural way. That is what you are here to teach. You are a healer who affects the emotional body of those people around you. This help those uh, whom you help to feel more stable, secure in their lives. That is your soul motto. If your solar eclipse has happened in the sign of Cancer before you were born, it shows that you are here as a healer. You tend to draw those kind of people towards you who don't understand their emotional problems, maybe because they are too connected to the external materialistic world. So when they are facing emotional problem, these people don't know how to react. Often you unknowingly heal others by taking on the negativity of their emotional turmoils. You have the ability to be a healer. You heal their emotions by absorbing the negativity into yourself and then releasing the healed energy back into the universe. So, Cancer is always taken as a sign of absorption. Just like mother gives you a healing touch, there is this concept of touch therapy, and our mothers are pro at it. Whenever we fell ill, we feel the best when our mothers are around and they are nurturing us, and we tend to heal very quickly in the company of our mothers. Similarly is the case of a person whose Cancer is very prominent, and this can be one of the method of checking the prominence of which sign is happening in your life, by checking what sign was affected by eclipse during the 9 months you were in your mother's womb. As a natural healer, you heal the emotions and the soul. You lighten people's heart, give them a shoulder to cry onto, relieve their emotional blockage, and you allow a natural balance of emotion in other people. That is what you have gained in your previous life, and you are here to teach other people and support other people in this matter. So never be emotionally unavailable for your family, friends, um, your fellow humans, or whoever come in your contact. If that person is really agitated, you have to take care of that person. Do not kind of try to run away from that, because that is what will be considered as break of promise from your part towards the universe. Now, if solar eclipse has happened in the sign of Cancer, what is you're here to learn? You're here to learn the importance of being emotionally self reliant. You are learning to interact with others on an emotional level and stabilize your emotions. Your temperament contains um, an accumulation of past life residue of feeling that you have to perform to be on top and on control of the people and situation in your life, and you are on a constant spree of proving, you know, that you are very emotionally stable and you should be accepted the way you are. That is what you always try to prove, but that is something which you have to learn in this life, because lunar eclipse has happened in the sign of Cancer. You have to learn the emotional stability. You feel you must earn your way in order to achieve a feeling of belonging with others. In later years of life, this can lead to difficulty in emotional situations. You know, you've seen people who fall into depression at the later years of their life, even after achieving the best of the world, because they ran after the materialistic gain and totally ignored their emotional um, emotional system, that they have to nurture and build a robust emotion mechanism which will support them throughout their life. Finances support you in a particular area, but an emotionally robust person can tackle anything in their life. On an unconscious level, you have born into a family group you have never been with before, and therefore you feel uncomfortable within your own family, because this is the lesson you are here to learn. You have promised that, okay, I'll learn emotional stability, so put me in this kind of a family, this kind of a scenario where I'll be totally uncomfortable on the emotional front, and I'll learn to cope up with that. That is how I'll be creating my life's path, my key to karmic dissipation, right? Your discomfort forces you to learn to deal with your emotions. You can either learn to be responsible for your moods and attitude, or choose not to create friction for those around you because of your extreme emotional sensitivity. So, this also shows that if lunar eclipse has happened in the sign of your Cancer, you are very emotionally erratic, because that is what you are here to learn about: emotional stability, the sanctity of your mind. All right. Now, as the video is getting too long, I'll be doing a second part for this, where I'll be taking Leo onwards. So it will come up tomorrow. Take care. Jai Shri Ram. Have a good day. Enjoy this. and I hope it will help you a lot.